Hello viewers and welcome to another special program on the occasion of the International Day of the Girl Child. Well, since 2011, the UN General Assembly had designated this day, that is October 11th, to celebrate it as International Day of the Girl Child. And since then, this day is being observed and celebrated the world over. Well, why we need such a day? Well, we need this day to honor especially the girl child and also to reflect back and to look upon the problems, the challenges that girl child especially faces, especially in today's times. It is also a day designated that recognizes the problems that girl child has, especially the problems worldwide that a girl especially faces, and the gender-based discrimination that a girl especially faces, the challenges that she encounters in education, in work, in many other aspects as well. And so this is a day that is set aside to look at those problems, besides celebrating the day, but also to give importance to the girl child and to find and seek ways and means to improve the potential of the girl child as well. Well, there is a statistical figure that I would like to give you here. It is said, and this is a world statistics that says 4 girls out of 10 girls actually are discriminated upon comparatively to every 10th boy child. So you can understand that the discrimination of the girl child is much more higher, in the much more higher scale compared to the boys, especially in fields of education, in fields of training being given to them, and especially in the field of empowering them. Well, today we will be talking about all these problems, these aspects of digital education, and to tell me more on this, well, we are joined here in the studio of Doordarshan Kendra by 3 beautiful people. To my to my immediate left, I have with me a teacher. She is Larry Cordor Syndrome. She is an English teacher from Auxilium Higher Secondary School here in Shillong. Well, I'm also being joined by 2 beautiful young children. They are both students of class 10 from the same institution, and she is of course Rinmoa Ralte, and also next to her is Moachila Kichu. Well, we'll be talking to them, understanding about the challenges and the prospects of digital education. But before we do so, I would just like to introduce you to a small video clip that we have made for you, especially based on this theme. We will come back after watching this small video clip. Join us then.
The 11th of October every year is celebrated as the International Day of the Girl Child. The theme for this year, chosen by the UNICEF, is Our Time is Now, Our Rights, Our Future. The girl child in our country especially has been discriminated against for a very long time, in that they are not even allowed to be born. We have seen and heard reports where female infanticide has been one of the most high in states like Haryana and Rajasthan, where the ratio of girls to boys is very low. As a result of this discrimination right from the womb, it is but natural to assume that opportunities for girl children diminish as soon as they come into the world. Lack of awareness on the matter, and especially educational opportunities, play the main role in widening this gap. This is seen also not only in our country but also worldwide, especially in African countries and underdeveloped nations. With an aim to provide a platform to bring about awareness on the subject, the UNICEF has thus brought about this theme to the forefront so that girl children all over the world may strive to be heard and seen along with the rest of society.
All right, so now that you have watched that little clip, well, we will be talking some aspects based on it, as well as others that our guest here would like to share. So, warm welcome to all 3 of you to Doordarshan Kendra Shillong. Thank you so much. Really, it's nice to have the teacher as well as her 2 students here from the same institution, and well, you all have come from your school. I can make out since you all are in your school uniform, right? Thank you so much, girls, and looking forward to having this interaction with you. Well, I would like to start with you, Larry. You are teaching English in a girls' institution.
Yes.
And how do you look at the aspect of educating the girl child? How important it is to specially educate a child, but more so to a girl child?
I think educating a child, it's much more important. Your gender does not need to determine that you need an education or not. And education, it's a basic human right. I don't think so. It's just we need it. It's a basic human right. It is an opportunity, not an entitlement. So once a girl is educated, she carries along with her many others, and she carries the other spheres of the society, and she boosts about the economy and the larger aspect of the country and the society as a whole, and she could contribute more comparing to the male counterparts.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So as for my experience being from Khasi society, we don't like, we are much more matrilineal.
Right.
Part,
we don't really discriminate. Right?
Even though it looks normal, but it's not so.
Okay.
Especially in a country here like India, but it's not always so that it's always normal. There's always that gender bias and gender discrimination. So they tend to always look upon the male counterparts for suggestions and other things. Even though we are educated, even though we are in the same sphere, but I find in my own experience, my family members, my friends, they tend to go more on the male counterparts than
the
to
female.
us. Yes,
Okay. All
female.
right. Yeah. All right. That is very well said indeed, because this is a practical, situation that you have just spoken of.
Yes.
We are matrilineal, no doubt.
Yes.
But then there is a lot of discrimination here as well.
The one who is who rocks the cradle, the ones who is the creator of
Doesn't always
shapes the
do.
destiny of civilization. The irony of the tragic fate of women is that we are facing such a major concern for the girl child.
Yeah, that who rocks the cradle may not rule the world, right?
Yes.
Wonderful said. Okay, now I come back to my two young friends here. Rinmoy, tell me what your miss said. Do you agree to that? I mean, what is your views really as how important it is to educate? Because you yourself, I'm sure you have a lot of aims and aspirations for the future. So how important it is for you to get yourself educated? Why is it so important for you?
It is very important because, as you know, going forward towards our future, if we're not educated, then it doesn't just mean that we'll just settle as housewives. We also want to have jobs. We want to take care of our families on our own. We want to be independent. It's not only about educating males, as educating a female is also very important. And if a female is not educated, she herself will know her own rights, as she has her rights are very important, and she has to protect herself. If she knows her rights, she'll be able to protect herself.
Okay, nicely said. And Mochila, what is your thoughts? I mean, you also must be having a lot of dreams. You aspire to become what in the future, and therefore are you working towards it? Family must be a big support to you as well.
Yes, definitely all genders need education, especially us girls. When it comes to male and female, boys are in more favor when it comes to education. But I feel like that should stop, and all of us should get equal education, because girls have the right and they deserve to know more knowledge, to gain more knowledge. And once they get the education, they will know what's right and wrong, and they can also pursue their dream, because I'm sure every one of us has our own dream. So once education can really help us pursue that dream, and I think that it will be
worthwhile,
yes.
Right? It is worthwhile in the long run. And I'm sure both of you come from a family where you get a lot of family support also. There is no discrimination at least. Or do you sense some kind of a, you must be having a brother or something?
No, not at all.
Do you sense it sometimes that, mommy is a little bit more favoring, or daddy is a little bit more favoring the brother or the elder brother? Do you sense it sometimes?
Sometimes, yes.
Yeah?
Since I have a younger brother, and
Okay.
since we were 3 siblings, and he's the only male,
Okay.
so it's I guess it's kind of obvious,
Yeah,
but yeah.
so he's getting, but
Yeah.
that doesn't necessarily mean that y'all are being sidelined,
No.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we will come back to that again, because I just wanted to understand your views as to what you think, because y'all are the future generations, right? And I'm sure that with you the country will be in a safe hand, and obviously it is so important to educate the girl child or children like you, because as your ma'am has already said that educating the girl or the woman is like educating the entire society as well, right? But let me come to you, Larry, because we have slowly coming out of a situation which was quite challenging up to say a year ago, or a year and a half or 2 years back, when suddenly we were jolted out of our wits when there was a situation where we went into a lockdown, and suddenly classrooms were no more inside the school premises, but classroom was at home.
Yes.
Right? We went into the digital mode of learning. Right? Tell us those tumultuous years when education suddenly went on the online mode, because it was a shock for every educationist, for every teacher, for every student, because we were not used to it.
Yes, we were not used to it.
How was your experience those days when it was suddenly imposed on us and we had to go digital?
First of all, it was like a roller coaster ride, and we feel like I just entered a dark room and I don't know where to go about. So, but as time passed by, it was not, it was not impossible, but it was possible. But it was possible, it's through digital, because there has been a lot of technology development, but in schools and says in education, in a country like India, we don't get that facility, and we are not so much used into it. So
especially the northeast.
Especially the northeast area, and of course there were not network problem. All may not have the device, the right device, and resources not available, and that as a teacher and a student, the very important thing is that rapport, that relationship between a student and a teacher,
which we have in the classroom.
We cannot cater to the needs of all the children. So it was not really fair also during assessment. Assessment was not really fair.
Right.
And there is also lack of motivation. We cannot really motivate the students. And I remember, because I know some places, especially rural areas, after a certain point of time, because they were usually at home and the students, they don't really concentrate on studies, they tend to move astray from education and tend to lose way, and some of them it leads to even like child marriage. Women, if you're talking about girls, like it leads to that. Because of that, they don't have like
the motivation enough to continue with their studies,
and no such thing for them to do. So it just, because they're adolescents, they easily get tempted into that. So their aims and goals has been disturbed, and they tend to move away from that. So that really hampers the development of a child in education perspective.
Right, yeah. Because as I said, we were all jolted out of our wits really and everybody was lost because we were not used to it.
I was really heartbroken when I came back and when I learned even some of my relatives, mostly girls, that
they dropped out.
Yeah, they dropped.
Yeah, that is one of the major fallout of COVID, was the very high dropout rate, especially among the girls. Right?
But I won't say that it was quite a challenging, difficult area, but as teachers we do learn a lot. We were not techno savvy, but we know a lot. We know about Google Meet, we know about Zoom, we know about different lots of other things.
Quite a bit, right? As we progress with it. Yeah, it was a learning experience, as they say. Let me come to you. How was it? Like lockdown was there. We thought it will be for a few days, right? I mean, that is what the initial thing was. But then suddenly classes, syllabuses were getting completed, homeworks were being given, chapters after chapters were getting completed. Those subjects that needs practical to be in the lab, suddenly, how do you do that? What was your situation, and can you tell us your experience when we suddenly went on the digital mode, when education went on the digital mode?
It was quite weird for me.
Okay.
It was, I don't know, I felt like it wasn't actually me learning. It felt like I was not studying at all. It felt like something that was, how do I put it? It felt like you know, we're not actually learning anything because we're just sitting in front of our phones or laptops and our teachers are talking through that, and we don't have that physical contact anymore. So it was quite weird for me. And the assignments and the assessments, since like in classes, if we have classes like offline classes, they usually give us the notes in the class and we mark it in the books, or like they give us, like, you know, they dictate it for us and we write it down. But since like online education started, like they started giving us notes and PDFs and files, and it was quite a challenge to even write them because the phone was right there with us. And you know, like if we have the phone with us, any notification that comes up, we end up like not doing the assignment and like just leaving the assignment for later and doing the other things first.
Yet you went through it for 2 years at least.
Yeah.
That was the situation, like, right?
Yeah.
Till finally things are almost near normal now. So tell me, Mochila, what was your experience?
It was, like Rin said, it was weird at first. It was something new, but as students, we adapted it quickly.
Right.
And it was a fun experience at first because we got, it was like
It was
Zoom,
a long
Google
holiday.
Meet. Yeah, it was.
Firstly, it was a very long holiday. Right?
And then when they said that we're going to start having classes through like online, it was something fun. It was something fun, like we had something new. But then we kind of got tired of it because it was a lot of we get a lot of screen time. Not only classes, but even assignments is through our phones, our laptops. So it used to drain our eyes, our minds. But like we did our level best, and we want to thank our devoted teachers who has really helped us.
Because you know, as much as it was challenging for the students, of course, because then how long can you really study from a mobile? Because most of the students, how many students could really afford a laptop, right? Maybe in the cities, you know, somebody who are in the richer classes, maybe they could. Or maybe sometimes there are even been situations where an entire family of children are actually sharing a
Same
smartphone,
mobile phone, yeah.
right?
One mobile phone.
Yeah. So, and then giving assignments, giving topics, and when you don't have that physical contact, because in a classroom what happens, the physical contact, the eye contact with students are so important, that went missing.
Yes,
Right,
we fail to cater to the needs of, because students are different types. All are not clever students. So some are average, some are poor. So we need, as teachers, it's our duty, it's our responsibility to cater to all the needs of the students. So that was really missing. I felt that was really missing, and because of that, students tend to lose the concentration, they tend to lose the interest.
But yet, as a teacher, you have to keep on holding on to them.
Keep on molding and motivating them. Even calling them if they don't attend the online classes, where were you and all like that. And like you told before, like students have to stand from top of the hill or wherever not just to get the signal and all like that.
Because the issue here is also
we might not be able to understand the difficulty of all the students, but as teachers we just try from our direction that to motivate them.
Yeah, because the pressure was with the teachers also to finish up the course, because the course, though it was truncated to some extent, but more or less it remained the same.
Yes.
Right? So, but then we are out of it. We are out of it, fortunately, and thank God. We hope that we'll never go back to it. Right?
Now I would say it's more of a blended mode, not more just offline.
Right.
It's both.
But then we have learned certain lessons. So what are the positives you think, Rin, you would like to tell me that we have learned from this digital mode of education that we went? What are some, because I'm sure technology has also, we have suddenly become very tech savvy. What are some of the positive things that you think has come out of this situation that we came out from?
We learned many things from online classes, like many technology advances. We made many technology advances, and we also did learn how to manage our time well as students, because there were time limits, and like if we don't submit during that particular time, the assignment won't be accepted anymore. Whereas in the class, even if we do it a bit late, they still take it. But like in online, they don't take it anymore. And we learned how to manage our time well because of that. And we also became really self-independent. We learned how to do things on our own, since the teachers were not always there through online. and yeah, we did learn a lot of stuff.
Yeah, as you said, time management, that is so beautiful what you said, you know, you learned how to manage time. But then there was a lot of time also that there was that screen time was quite a bit also, right? And what about you, Mochila, like what is it that, what kind of help and support you got from your parents also, and what are the things you learned from this situation that you were in once upon a time?
Well, online education has made me as more self-reliant. We became responsible. I mean, there were times when we would procrastinate a lot, like we would keep our assignments, our work last moment, but that like made us understand that we should complete our work on time, and like we had that sense of duty, even though we were at homes, in our comfort homes, to complete our work. And yeah, with time management and everything.
Yeah, so and I'm sure you're, because suddenly parents became teachers at home also, you know, and especially for the younger lot. Y'all are a little grown up, but there were a lot of young children where they became the teachers. They took up that role, right? And we must not forget that at all.
Yes, the
right?
parents today played a great role.
Yes, they played a very, very great role. But then in that situation, did you all also take up any extra, you know, kind of learning? Because there were a lot of courses that were being offered, especially those days in the online mode. Did you pursue any kind of online extra bit besides the subject, or you did not have time at all?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you didn't. Yeah. What about you?
No.
No? Yeah, because there were a lot of, you know, everybody was trying to go the online mode, and there were a lot of
trying to adapt in that new environment.
Yes, and making
too busy to adapt there.
Yeah, and making, you know, taking the students in also to ensure that they can teach them something new and different, right? Because nowadays, if you have noticed, so much has gone into the online mode.
Yes.
Right? I mean, people are learning even painting and other skills that was not possible in the online mode are being taught in the online mode now, right?
Cooking also, I learned a lot of cooking during
Yeah.
that
Okay. All right.
time.
So you had a lot of spare time, it seems to also.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's what we did. However, I would like to go to both the students. What is it that you feel that there should be now need to improve? Because it was a learning experiences. There were a lot of faults also from both the, you know, from the maybe school level or maybe from the level of the government, you know, where the network was faulty and not so good. What is it that after going through that you feel that there is a need to improve now?
There are quite a lot of improvements to be made, but I guess the most important would be, you know, after going through all that online classes, like students, we have become really, really addicted to the mobile phones. We have become really addicted, and we just can't take it off our minds. And because even if we didn't want to, our parents, we couldn't like just have their phones all the time for like our studies. So like we also needed our separate phones, and that made us, you know, really into our phones, and which has also strained us a lot. It has also, I'm sure that it has also made a lot of students quite depressed, and you know, they have like really secluded themselves from the society, and they are not like
socializing.
Yes,
It was difficult for them. Yes, I'm so glad that you brought in, you know, because, you know, mental health became one of the major issues, you know, that children are still coming out of it, because this was a completely new experience that children were suddenly thrown into, and for them to think that they could quickly adapt. Of course, she said that, you know, adaptability is the essence of the younger generation, but then maybe not all children were the same. They needed more interaction with their, but then you know, mental issue became, and as you said that, you know, going into wrong websites, addiction into the mobile phone, and always to use the internet, right? That are some of the negatives you feel that also came out from this digital learning?
I feel like digital learning has made us more distant from our studies. It made us like, there were a lot of distractions, and we couldn't really like give our full concentration. And I think it was hard, but if we just worked harder and do our level best, I think.
So I think here lies the role, I think also the importance of self-discipline, right? How much is too much, right? That is very important for a particular student, especially when a student is of age. Yeah, you all are maybe of that age now where you can understand a little bit that how much is too much. So there to draw the line, right? There we need to draw the line. So as we are almost wrapping up this program today, what is it that you would like to tell to the younger lot? Because so many students are so addicted that, you know, they are always recoiled to themselves. You will see students, I have seen it for myself, that students don't need friends anymore. They have the mobile phone, they have the digital world there, God knows who they are on the other side of the screen, but they are happy, you know, to watching videos, to chat with some other maybe strangers, but then there are dangers that lies there also, right? Because we have to be careful with whom we are chatting and giving too much of information. So from all those, what is the little that you have learned from your learning experience? What is it that you would like to tell to all the girl child, especially who are watching this program? How much is too much? Where to draw the line?
I feel like there will be many distractions, but it's not only just social media. Everyone's into social media nowadays.
Right.
That's like a trend, but it's not only just that. I feel like if they should decrease their time on that and like focus more on their studies, because that will be what matters. That will really matter in the end. Like that's what's more worth, and if you really put into it and work hard on it.
Yeah, because you know, online classroom can never substitute, you know, the real classroom,
Yes,
right? So what is the quick little guidance that you would like, friendly words of guidance you would like to share to all who are watching this program, girls like you?
Yeah, I would really suggest for the girls to like schedule their time, like make a routine and, you know, properly follow that routine, like just not make it for the sake of making it, but make it so that you will follow it. And although it might be hard at first, but as soon as you get used to it, it'll become like everything will become much more easier, and you'll be much more happier yourself, and even your studies will get like a lot better.
And I think at least for a few hours we should keep away that phone from us, right? Devote more real time with the family, with real friends, right? With real people.
Not virtual friends.
Yeah, not virtual always, right? That is so important, that we need to have that push in us that no, now I will not touch the phone at all. Keep it away. Of course, it is very necessary now for, as Miss also said, that for blended mode of education, it is now, because we now cannot do away just with classroom class. It is a blended mode that is come. But however, what is the kind of little advice from you, at least, you would share with all of your students who are watching this program today?
Like on digital learning, of course, there has been, it was, I would say it was difficult at first, but from my perspective as a teacher, as I adapt to it, I learned a lot about many other things. I could finish many other courses also through online. So I would suggest to my students also to manage their time well. And it's not just use the internet or the mobile phones for your own interest, or what you find it is a pleasure to watch, but you find it for your own success also. You watch something for your own success, because that matters a lot after all.
Yeah, use it for your learning purposes. Right?
Learning is a never-ending process.
Because I'm not saying that, you know, in the online mode there are plenty of good things also there that students.
It's not always negative things.
No. It depends on you which site or which website you're going to, because there are plenty of new study materials that has been kept now in the digital mode, where students are taking advantage of those, and you know, they are watching as they are learning also, right? They're learning as they are watching. And that really helps also, right? So I guess there's so much more to be said, but then that's all the time permits us to speak to you all. But then what I understand is that yes, it has been difficult, but digital generation, or this digital education, also has a lot of positives that we should take advantage of and use it more in a more positive manner, so that it leads to all-round development of children as well, right? I wish you all the best, especially the two students here. You all are already in class 10 and you have a board exam next year, right? I wish you all success in life. May you continue to shine and make yourselves proud, number one, and thereafter the rest of the world and your school prouder as well. Thank you so much. And Miss Larry, thank you also for bringing your children to us, to this platform today, and sharing with us your valuable information and your inputs that you spoke about the prospects and the challenges of digital learning. Thank you so much. Wish you all the best once again.
Thank you.
Well then, viewers, that's the beauty of this program. Each time we bring for you these panelists, there's so much that I myself learn from each one of them. And we had young guests today, and yet they spoke so wonderfully. I'm sure you have also enjoyed this program and understood what are the positives of digital learning as well, and how we should productively use it for our own benefit. Until next time, from all of us here from the studios of Doordarshan Kendra, it's wishing you goodbye.